number 7, for example, reoccurs as the number of perfection or the number of God. I know that this is kind of all heady stuff, but just bear with me. Various scholars have, through the years, unearthed amazing sequences and chains of 7s hidden in the original Hebrew and Greek texts. There's another lesson where I go into some of this stuff in more detail, but I mean, just one example. You have, and I may get some, forgive me if I get some of the numbers wrong here, but you understand. There was a guy called Rabbi Herschel, and Rabbi Herschel was completely into the scriptures, as most rabbis are, and he would even count the letters that were written in the original scriptures. And what he discovered was, in the first 2 books, Genesis, Revelation, I mean, this is a bit of a different thing to the 7s, but this was a great one. In the book of Genesis and Exodus, he counted 40 letters. And it comes to, you know, the kind of name of God is Yahweh, Y-H-W-H. And it's not that in the original Hebrew, of course, but, you know, what that would be in Hebrew. The Tetramagon, or whatever they call it. Counts 40 letters, and it's got the Y, another 40, H, another 40, W, another 40, H, pointing in that direction. And then it goes to the last 2 books of the Torah. What have we got? We've got Leviticus in the middle, haven't we? No, in the first 5 books. Deuteronomy and Numbers. And he counted there, and he counted 40 letters, and it had exactly the same thing, the name of God, but this time it was backwards, so it's pointing that direction, to Leviticus. So we've got the name of God, every 40 letters, pointing back to Leviticus. And then in Leviticus, every 7 letters, just at the beginning of the book, every 7 letters, it's got that same name, Yahweh. So, you know, I mean, God signs his name to his word. I really believe this, that this very book that we hold in our hand is the book of life that's spoken of in the book of Revelation. I do with all my heart. And I believe in some phenomenal way our names are written in this book. That's just it. But here's one that is amazing. Okay, Matthew's genealogy. We know Matthew's genealogy. It's so-and-so begets so-and-so, and so-and-so begets so-and-so. Yeah. But this is interesting. Okay, now bear in mind that this is a family tree. Okay, a family tree. This is like from thousands of years. You know, you can't just make it up. Sit down and think, okay, we're going to have the number of words divisible by 7, the number of letters divisible by 7, the number of vowels divisible by 7, the number of consonants divisible by 7. Because these are people's real names. And we have the history of these people. But just in that genealogy, okay, you've got the number of words in that genealogy, the original Greek, divisible by 7. The number of letters, divisible by 7. The number of vowels, divisible by 7. Consonants, divisible by 7. Number beginning with a vowel, divisible by 7. Number of consonants beginning with a consonant, divisible by 7. Words that occur more than once, divisible by 7. Number of names, divisible by 7. Number of male names, divisible by 7. Number of generations, divisible by 7. And just these things are impossible things to devise unless you're God. I mean, we can sit down and work out some clever things. I saw a clever thing the other day where it was like a picture and it looked like the face of a horse. But then when you kind of turned around, it was actually like a picture of a frog. That was pretty cool. Has anyone seen that one where the old lady and the young lady? Yeah, the old lady with the big nose and then the young lady kind of with a thing around her neck. Okay, so, you know, we can devise some clever things. But, man, you would be hard-pushed to devise some of this stuff. Unless you were there from the beginning through to the end. Okay. This is amazing. This is totally amazing. You know, if you don't like genealogies, you know, who likes the genealogies? I mean, come on. Who's got their favourite? Who would say, oh yeah, my favourite scripture? Man, it's those big lists of names and numbers. But there is some great things in there. And God is a master at hiding things away. I mean, if you want to hide something, best place to hide them, genealogies. You know, I mean, come on. Who's going to look there? Okay, genealogy, the genealogy of Genesis 5, we have this family tree again. Adam. Adam means man. Seth, appointed. Enosh means mortal or frail. Canaan, sorrow. Mahalalel, blessed. Yeah? Or Mahalal means blessed or praised with El, so it means the blessed of God, the blessed God. Yared or Jared means shall come down. Enoch. You know, these are the generations. Adam had Seth, and Seth had Enosh, and Enosh had Canaan, etc. Enoch means commencement or teaching. Methuselah means death, to bring. His death shall bring. You know why Methuselah was the oldest man in the Bible? Anyone got any idea? I've probably said this already. Does anyone have any idea?
No.
You know, the Bible talks about Enoch as a prophet. Enoch didn't live out his whole life. He actually went to be with God before he even died. The book of Jude speaks about the prophecies of Enoch. Enoch, man, in the book of Genesis, this same Enoch, the book of Jude tells us, prophesied the second coming of Christ with 10,000s of his saints. I mean, this guy was like full on. And he has this kid, and he calls his kid, his death shall bring. And this kid Methuselah lives for 930 something years, older than anyone has ever lived. But guess what? The year he died, the flood came. Why did God make this guy live so long? Because he did not want to bring judgment. His grace stretched out as far as this poor fella's body could handle.
No, he had a son called Lamech, called Despairing.
Yeah.
I'm never going to die.
Lamech, despairing. And then we've got Noah, which means comfort or rest. And let's just see, okay, let's just take these then. And say, does this ring any bells? Man is appointed mortal sorrow, but the blessed God shall come down teaching. His death shall bring the despairing comfort and rest.
Oh, wow.
Is that cool? That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyways. The miraculous preservation and influence of the Bible, the most loved and the most hated book in history. It's withstood continual attack and persistent opposition. Untold copies have been burned and thousands of believers slaughtered for possessing a copy of it, yet it endures and increases daily in its popularity and circulation. The worldwide influence of the Bible is untouched by any other book. It's been translated into more languages than any other book, reproduced in larger quantities than any other book. No other book has such far-reaching impact on the culture and arts of the nations of the world. Millions of lives have been dramatically changed by its message. Throughout history, people have tried to wipe it out. Roman governors have burnt them and burnt people for owning them. Men who've translated the Bible have been killed and all sorts chased across the nations. You know, Voltaire, this is quite an amusing story. Voltaire, who was a French guy and a completely